So I have some dandelion greens that I got from the store. When you purchase this stuff, you'll definitely want to wash it. And not all of it's going to be good. So what I'm going to do today is go through and get rid of things that aren't good. And I'm going to take the ones that are, wash them, and then I'm going to put them in this container. And I'll layer them with paper towels so that they don't get too wet. I've discovered that having these in the container with the paper towels really lengthens the life of the veggies. So I'm partway through sorting through the dandelion greens. These are the dandelion greens that I'm going to wash today and then pull apart and put into a salad. These are the bigger leaves that I'm going to go ahead and clean. I'm putting them in a big bowl. So then that way I can soak them, clean them, and then I'm going to go ahead and put them in the container that will keep in the crisper in the fridge. Try to buy the best looking veggies and then go through it, remove anything that's gross, and go ahead and pull out what's good. So as I'm going through this, I discovered a really disgusting leaf. This is absolutely disgusting, and I will not be giving it to my dragon. But I also wanted to talk about, pulling that out, I also want to talk about some of the other leaves that you might find and why I avoid them. So this one does have some spotting on it, so I'm not going to include that. This one is mostly okay, but because it has some imperfections and looks like something might have been chewing through it, I don't know if you can see it on the picture, I'm going to avoid using that one as well. This one also has some browning. It looks like it's going bad. This one has some browning as well, so I'm going to avoid that. I kind of look at it as, would I eat this? No, I would not. So would my bearded dragon, should they eat this? No, because it's not good. It could make me sick. It could make them sick. If it's not good enough for me, if I wouldn't eat it, then no, I would not give that to my pet. So that's something to consider when you're pulling the veggies out. And some of them are good in spots and some are not. I've already washed the dandelion greens. I'm going to go ahead and layer them in here so that they can stay nice and dry. And yes, they're wet going in. That's because I just washed them. When you have things like mustard greens or collard greens, you're going to have a whole lot more that will fit in here. These are the pieces that I left behind. So we don't want to have any of these stems in the salad because the bearded dragon just cannot digest that and they can't chew it. If you take a really good look at their teeth, they don't have the ability to do a ton of chewing. It's mostly just chomp, swallow, maybe a little bit of chewing, but not a lot. And this is something that they really cannot chew. So I also remove anything that has like a thick vein in it. If they're thinner veins, that's fine. But when they're really thick like that, I just think to myself, there's only so much of that that they can take, and then it kind of just builds up in there. That's what I recommend. And then what I did, this is what I'm not using. What I did was I ripped up the pieces so they're very small, and then I added some squash. So you can prepare your squash a few different ways. You could cut it up and you could boil it. You can peel it with a peeler and then rip it up. And you can also just take a spoon and scrape it out like I did here. That way it's very, very thin. They will definitely be able to eat that just fine. Might take them a couple tries to get it on their tongue because it's very thin. Using a peeler I find is better, but in this case I just wanted to get everything together very quickly, and having a variety I think is nice as well. I kind of look at it as, would I like the same thing prepared the same way every single day? Probably not, which is why I like to give him a variety. So this salad is made with dandelion greens ripped up and then some shaved butternut squash. And then that's what I'm going to put in a salad today.